Have you ever wondered what witches have to do with Easter? If you're in Sweden, quite a lot. Let's delve into a unique Swedish Easter tradition that has its roots in pre-Christian Europe. On Maundy Thursday, known as Skärtorsdag in Sweden, children transform into little witches and embark on a mission that might sound familiar to many of us: trick-or-treating. But why witches, you ask? Well, the Thursday before Easter was once believed to be the day when witches flew on their broomsticks to a mountain for a rendezvous with the devil. After their wicked gathering, they would return to their homes on Saturday and attempt to blend in with the rest of the churchgoers on Easter Sunday. To commemorate this belief, children in Sweden and some parts of Finland dress up as witches, and sometimes even as other pop culture characters, and visit houses in their neighborhoods in search of candy. The sight of these adorable little witches, broomsticks in hand, knocking on doors and reciting Swedish rhymes, is a charming spectacle that brings a touch of whimsy to the solemnity of the Easter season. A related tradition that goes hand in hand with this is the building of bonfires. These are not just for warmth or roasting marshmallows, but to ward off the returning witches flying overhead. Imagine that, a sky ablaze with bonfires, casting a warm, flickering glow over the Swedish landscape as the residents vigilantly keep a lookout for any witches trying to sneak back from their devilish gathering. These customs, while seemingly eccentric to outsiders, are an integral part of Swedish culture and provide a fascinating glimpse into the country's folklore and historical belief systems. They serve as a reminder that even in our modern world, age-old traditions and superstitions can still find a place, blending seamlessly with contemporary celebrations. So, if you ever find yourself in Sweden during Easter, don't be surprised if you meet a few witches on the street. Moving from witches to marsupials, let's hop over to Australia, where the Easter bunny has been replaced by a native creature. In the land down under, the traditional Easter bunny has a rather unique and distinctly Australian twist. You see, Australians aren't particularly fond of rabbits. These cuddly creatures, as adorable as they might be, are an invasive species that have wreaked havoc on Australia's native flora and fauna. So the idea of the Easter bunny hopping around, distributing treats, didn't quite resonate with the Aussie spirit. Enter the bilby. This native marsupial, with its long ears and pointed snout, has a charm of its own. It became the perfect candidate for a homegrown Easter symbol. The story of the Easter bilby begins in 1968 with a 9-year-old girl named Rosemary Dusting from Queensland. She penned a story called Billy, the Aussie Easter Bilby, which she later published. This delightful tale planted the seed of the Easter bilby in the cultural consciousness. Fast forward to 1991, a campaign was launched to officially replace the Easter bunny with the Easter bilby. The idea was to reclaim the holiday with a symbol that was truly Australian, and the bilby fit the bill perfectly. Chocolatiers across the country embraced this change with open arms, crafting delicious chocolate bilbies to fill Easter baskets. Today, gifting a chocolate bilby has become more than just a holiday tradition. It's a statement of Aussie pride, a celebration of their unique wildlife, and a subtle nod to the importance of preserving their native species. The Easter bilby is a sweet reminder of Australia's commitment to protect its unique biodiversity, all while enjoying a festive treat. So, while the rest of the world awaits the arrival of the Easter bunny, Australians look forward to a visit from the Easter bilby. It's a uniquely Australian spin on a global tradition, perfectly capturing the spirit of the land down under. Easter in Australia is a testament to their local pride, replacing the invasive rabbit with their native and beloved bilby. From Australia, we take a tasty trip to Ecuador, where Easter is celebrated with a unique and symbolic soup. In the heart of South America, Easter in Ecuador is a time for family, reflection, and the creation of a traditional soup known as finesca. This isn't just any soup, it's a culinary labor of love that is only prepared once a year, specifically for the Easter season. The time-consuming process of making finesca is seen as a testament to devotion and the sacredness of the occasion. Now let's stir into the pot of symbolism. The ingredients of finesca are as meaningful as they are flavorful. The soup features 12 different grains and beans, each one representing the 12 apostles. These grains and beans are carefully selected, each one lending a unique texture and taste to the soup. much like the distinct personalities of the apostles themselves. As for the star ingredient, that would be the salted cod. This humble fish carries a heavy symbolism, standing in for Jesus Christ. The cod is often soaked for days to remove the excess salt, then cooked to perfection, infusing the soup with a rich, savory depth. Other ingredients include squash, which brings a gentle sweetness, and cheese, providing a creamy note that binds all the flavors together. All these elements simmer together, creating a harmonious blend of tastes, textures, and symbols in one pot. But Finska is more than just a soup. It's a tradition that brings families together. Everyone has a role to play in the preparation process, from the youngest to the oldest. The stirring of the pot becomes almost a dance, a rhythm of unity and shared purpose. As the soup is ladled into bowls and served at the table, it's not just a meal that's being shared. It's a piece of cultural heritage, a story of faith told through food, and a testament to the power of tradition in bringing people together. Easter in Ecuador is a feast for the senses, with Finska taking center stage. Our next stop takes us to the chilly regions of Newfoundland and Labrador, where a unique dish is a traditional Easter fare. Here, nestled against the harsh Atlantic Ocean, the locals have a distinct approach to celebrating Easter. Amidst the frigid spring, when the seal hunting season is in full swing, a peculiar dish graces the tables of Newfoundland and Labrador. That dish is none other than the famed seal flipper pie. Now, you might be wondering, seal flipper in a pie? How did that come about? Well, the tradition dates back to the time when European settlers first arrived in this part of Canada. They found an abundance of seals, and every part of the animal found a buyer except for the flippers. The flippers were relatively tough, not the prime choice for selling, but the resourceful locals found a way to turn this overlooked cut into a delicacy. The seal flippers were coated in flour and fried alongside onions and other vegetables. This mixture was then baked into a robust, hearty pie. Over time, this dish, born out of necessity and frugality, became a cherished tradition, particularly during Lent and Easter. The timing aligns perfectly with the spring hunting season, further cementing seal flipper pie as an Easter classic in Newfoundland and Labrador. Today, the tradition lives on. Seal flipper pie is served in local restaurants and sold in grocery stores during the Easter season. This dish, a testament to the resourcefulness and resilience of the people here, has become a symbol of their deep connection with the harsh yet bountiful nature surrounding them. So while Easter might bring to mind images of bunnies and eggs for some, in Newfoundland and Labrador, it's all about the seal flipper pie, a dish that encapsulates the spirit of a people making the most of what nature provides, even in its harshest form. In Newfoundland and Labrador, Easter is a time to appreciate the resources provided by nature, even in its harshest form. Finally, we arrive in Hungary, where water plays a significant role in their Easter traditions. One such tradition is Vízbetévo, or Water Sowing Monday. It's a fascinating Easter custom that dates back to pre-Christian times, and it involves, well, buckets of water and unsuspecting young women. On the day after Easter, young women of marriageable age dress up in traditional clothing, ready to participate in a unique, and sometimes, a slightly soggy ritual. Young men then douse these women with water. It's not a random act of water warfare, though. This dousing is deeply rooted in a cleansing ritual believed to promote fertility. You see, water in many cultures is a symbol of life, purity, and renewal. So, the act of sprinkling, or in this case dousing water, is seen as a blessing for fertility and growth. It's a way to wish the young women a fruitful life ahead, full of prosperity and abundance. Now, this might sound a little outdated, and you'd be right. Over the years, the tradition has evolved significantly. It's less about the old fertility rites and more about having a bit of fun. Today, Vízbetévo is often seen as an excuse for playful flirtation among the younger generation. It's a time for laughter, teasing, and yes, plenty of water. But let's not forget, like any tradition, it can sometimes be a bit of a nuisance. Imagine getting ready for the day, dressing up in your best traditional attire, only to be doused with water. It's all in good fun, though, and an integral part of the Easter celebrations in Hungary. So if you ever find yourself in Hungary during Easter, don't be surprised if you see people running around with buckets of water. It's just the Hungarians celebrating Vizbetovo, their unique and lively Easter tradition. Whether it's a delightful flirtation or a bit of a nuisance, Easter in Hungary is certainly a wet and wild affair. From witches to marsupials, from unique soups to seal pies, and from bonfires to water fights, Easter traditions are as diverse as the world itself. In Sweden, the Easter witches take center stage. Children dress up as witches and sometimes other pop culture characters and go trick-or-treating, reviving an age-old belief that witches flew to meet the devil the Thursday before Easter. Bonfires built to ward off these returning witches add a fiery charm to the festivities. Down under in Australia, the Easter bilby, a native marsupial with long ears, replaces the traditional Easter bunny. The story of Billy the Aussie Easter bilby has sparked a new tradition, with chocolate bilbies filling Easter baskets, symbolizing not just a holiday custom, but also a statement of Aussie pride. In the heart of South America, Ecuador serves up fanesca, a traditional Easter soup that's a labor of love. Made just once a year, this hearty soup combines fresh grains, beans, squash, salted cod, cheese and milk. The 12 grains and beans represent the 12 apostles, while the cod symbolizes Jesus. In the chilly provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador in eastern Canada, the traditional Easter meal is a seal flipper pie. This dish, born out of necessity and resourcefulness, has become a staple during Lent and Easter, making its way from homes to restaurants and grocery stores. Over in Hungary, Easter Monday, known as Water Sowing Monday or Vizbetovo, sees young women of marriageable age doused with buckets of water. This pre-Christian cleansing ritual to promote fertility has evolved into a playful tradition of flirting and sometimes just plain high-spirited fun. As we celebrate Easter, let us remember that it's not just about candy and eggs, but a rich tapestry of traditions that bring us together in the most unexpected ways.